Hey YouTubers, it's me again, Lifted Off-Road. Like I mentioned in my last video, I'm working on these fender flares / mud flaps. Mounting them on here. Keep some of the water and the mud from splashing up all over the place. Yeah, you can see them. I got them on there by a bunch of screws. Metal screws. I'm using these. I believe they're just some stainless steel metal screws. I'm using those every couple inches. As you can see, I've already done the passenger side. I've still got to do the driver's side. I know in some states like Maryland, you're not allowed to have your tires stick out past your fender flare, which in this case it does by a couple inches. So I put those fender flares on. Actually, I'm putting them back on. The awesome guys at Twisted Metal Customs, who did my cage and the bed liner coating, did not put them back on for me, which is fine. Actually, I think I told them I'd do it myself. So this video is about me putting them back on. I'm not going to bore you with the whole process of doing it, but I'll share a little bit of it with you. The material I'm using is one of these. Oh. This is actually a piece of garden edging. Some of you guys might be familiar with it. You find this at the home center or the hardware store. Some garden edging that you just stick in the ground to put borders around your flower beds or whatever. Basically all I did was measured out my wheel well all the way around the circumference. I cut this out and I put screws in it. This seems to work alright. Definitely a lot cheaper than buying some bushwhacker flares, which may or may not cover as much as I need to have covered. And it's homemade on the cheap. And it seems to work pretty good. And it's better than nothing. So I'm going to start putting those on. I'll provide you with updates as I go along. Starting to run out of sunlight, so I got to get this done pretty quick. And I'm pretty sure you can't see them, the holes that are already in there from where I had it on before. So I'm going to put those back on, and I'll get back. What I'm doing is I got the first screw in right there. I'm just working my way back up, and I'm running out of light. I got holes already made, so all I have to do is put the screws back in the holes. Because like I said, I've had it on here before. I just have to reattach them. And then I will have some fender flares that will cover the tires and make it street legal. Here in Guam, they don't seem to care about that kind of stuff, but I know in Maryland they do, and I'm pretty sure in other states they do as well. You can't have your tires stick out past your fender flares. So I made my own fender flares, and I plan within the next couple of months, when I move back to the States, I'm going to have to get this vehicle to pass whatever state inspection I'm going to be living in. So I'm putting these on now, and it also helps a little bit with keeping the water splashing up. so I won't have as much water splashing up when I go through puddles. Before, without these, I'd go through a big puddle and the tires would splash water all the way up to the driver's side of the windshield. Like the passenger side tire would splash water all the way across the windshield, and it would blind me for a couple seconds. So with these little fender flares, it reduces it a bit. It doesn't eliminate the entire problem, unfortunately, but it does reduce it a bit, so it's not quite as bad. So now I just gotta finish putting in all these screws, and I'll be done. Some homemade custom fender flares. I forget what I spent for it. I think I spent maybe 20 bucks for a roll of this stuff. Like 20 bucks, and I already had these screws, so these screws were free. So 20 bucks for some fender flares. You know, online you can buy fender flares, but those probably run into the $400 to $600 for some fender flares like these. And they're not like these, they're different. So these are one-of-a-kind fender flares / mud flat. Another installment of Lifted Off-Road for 20 bucks-ish. Got some fender flares. Make it street legal and reduce the amount of water that splashes up onto my windshield. Okay, well, I'm now doing this in the dark. The sun has gone down. Got very little light. See, I just got, see if I can get that into focus. There's metal screws going up every couple inches. That's where I stopped. I'm going to take a break for a little bit. My back's bothering me. I'm sitting up or slouching over, whatever you want to call it. And take a break for a little bit. Smoke a cigarette, drink some beer, then I'll get back to it. And right now, I gotta rest my back a little bit. But it's going good. Here we are. Finished product. It's all screwed on. And I got my mud flaps back on. One project down. See you next time. Again, give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up or like or whatever, and subscribe. I got more coming. It's dark out. The sun's down. Now it's time to go eat some dinner. Thanks again for all your support. Take it easy. Have fun. Finished product is the next day now that the sun came up. Little fender flares. Covers the tire, so it should be legal. Should be legal in whatever state I go to. A little bit of extra hang down there for some extra protection. Oh, you can see it. All the screws, and that's it. These are my homemade fender flares.